Good afternoon, everybody. While we're waiting for people to come on, I want to say good afternoon and welcome to Tea and Stories. Mama has her teapot. As always, this morning was awesome. I did myself a favor and did some self-care. Did my locks. You'll get a chance to see them next week. I'll have them out so you can see them. Got a chance to put my jewelry on. Did a little scrub there and a little care here. I believe in self-care, y'all. Always. I believe everybody should have a little bit of self-care. Hi, Katrina. Thank you for coming. I'm going to get started with our story today. This is a special day because I usually only have Tea and Stories Mondays through Friday. But since I skipped Tuesday, I decided that I would have a special Tea and Stories for today. And it's a really special one because I'm introducing a new story. This story is it's called Origin Story. And it's talking about superheroes. Yeah. And hopefully I'll get a chance to do some more superhero stories during the week. A lot of people think in the African American community there are no superhero stories. But like I said yesterday, High John the Conqueror was a superhero. And that was during the time of enslavement. So when you hear stories that we are superheroes too, we are. Also, if you're interested in any superhero comic books, let me know. Because I'll hope to show you a few superheroes in this upcoming week. Now, again, this story is called Origin Story. Everybody wonders how superheroes get started. Are they born superheroes? Or do they just become them? And there's a lot of different stories told. But our community has a superhero all its own. Let me tell you how she got started. Down in South Carolina, in a little island off of Charleston, there's a small community of people called Clovians. They're all African American people. They got mixed in with the Geechees, so everybody thought they were the same people, but they weren't. You see, the Clovians were from a very special island, somewhere in the middle of the ocean. Now, it is said that they were the part of that special island that broke off, that special place where God first started the world, his secret garden. I don't know. All I know is that the people from Clove are very special people. And that's where a very beautiful girl named Seer was born. Seer and her brother Rise. Both of them were born on the island. Their mother had married a man who was from Philadelphia. They'd fallen deeply in love one summer and they were married. And they had stayed on the island for a long time. Joshua and Naya, who was their mother, were very much in love, and they really loved it down on the island. Until one day, after their children were born, Nayla suddenly disappeared. Her grandmother said, "She be back. You just have to be patient and wait." But he thought she was dead. And he decided to take his children and go back to Philadelphia. But the grandmother at first would not let him take them. She said, "The children, they stay here. They stay with us." "But no, they stay here. They stay with us." He was afraid to cross her grandmother. Now, that was one thing that Seer never understood. Her grandmother was the sweetest, kindest, most loving woman that she knew. But she was fierce when it came to them. "Oh no, the children, they stay here." Now, they did stay until her brother was 13 and she was 7. Then her father came down and said, "My children are going back with me." They argued and fussed out in the yard. The children couldn't hear what they were saying, but in the end, the children came to Philadelphia with their father. Shortly after which, their father was married to a girl named Bea. Now, Bea was as North Philly as they come. And soon, Bea had 2 children of her own, little tiny ones, just as fierce as she was. Now, Bea wasn't a mean person, so to speak, but she was stern. She didn't like that she had inherited these teenagers. They weren't her kids. "Don't think I'm going to be your mother or nothing, because I got kids of my own, as you see." It wasn't a problem. They never, ever, ever thought of her as their mother. Now, her brother, when he turned 14, suddenly her father said, "The boy is going back down with his grandmother, but you're staying here." But Daddy, I don't want to be separated from Rise." "You're staying here." And he sent his son back down. But before Rise left, he said, "Don't worry. It won't be long before you're 14. And trust me, when you're 14, he's going to let you come back down too. Until then, we'll write each other every day. You don't have anything to worry about, okay?" "Okay. Come on. Don't do that, Sierra. Don't cry. It's going to be all right. It's going to be better than all right. Okay?" "Okay." And Rise went back down to South Carolina. Now, Sierra didn't like going to school in Philadelphia. When she was on the island, she was homeschooled. And every year, she found out that she could do her work and never ever go to school, because she had already done all the work that there was there. But to please her father, she kept her head low and she went on to school. Now, while she was in school, there were always girls picking with her, saying nasty things to her. It got to the point where she didn't even pay them any attention. "Why your hair look like that anyway? It's so nappy. You need a straightening comb." She had her hair in long, luscious locks that she took care of herself. Even her stepmother didn't like her locks. Her stepmother would look at her and say, "Girl, one day I'm going to get a straightening comb. I'm going to do something about that head of yours. Or maybe you need some weave or something. Because right now, you look a hot mess with that stuff all over your head. But you ain't my kid, so I ain't worried about it." She never paid her any attention. She would just shake her head and go in her room. And in her room, she would write. She wrote stories and she wrote visions, especially visions. She would sit and think, and these pictures would come in her head. Sometimes she would draw them, sometimes she would write them. And they were all ways of her flying and turning green. She thought it was funny. That's when she got into superhero magazines. She liked that. It was fun. She liked all of those things. And she missed her brother Rise because he would read the superhero comics with her all the time. Then, right before her 14th birthday, about a week before, she woke up and her stomach hurt so bad. Now, there's something else that you need to know about Seer. Seer was a vegetarian. She had started being a vegetarian when she was down south with her grandmother. And it was weird because her father was always trying to get her to eat meat. She never understood why. "You need to eat some of this meat. That's what you need to do." "But I don't like meat, Dad, and I don't eat meat. Why can't I just eat some vegetables?" Well, you better eat them potato chips because they're vegetables. That's what Bea would say to her. But she got to the point where she would go and get her own vegetables and cook them herself and clean up after herself. So Bea didn't say too much to her. And then sometimes Bea would even have her cook for the whole family. She would eat her vegetables and she was happy. Her father would just look at her, a little disgusted, a little bit angry. But he couldn't exactly argue with her about wanting to do things that made her healthy. Or could he? But that day she woke up with a terrible, terrible stomachache. You may just need some time on the toilet. Or is your cycle on? My cycle went off yesterday, she said really quietly. You ain't got a bun in the oven, do you? No, she said. Bea looked at her. Oh, you getting smart with me, girl? No, I'm not getting smart with you. I just haven't done anything to have a baby. Well, just wanted to make sure. And Bea went in the other room, chasing after the little ones. But her stomach really hurt. And her eyes hurt too. They itched. And her hands felt warm. Her father came in. I heard you weren't And he stared at her. What's wrong? My stomach's just hurting, Dad. And my eyes itch and my hands. What about your hands? They feel hot. I took my temperature. I don't have a fever. Go back to bed. Okay. Bea, don't bother her. I'll take care of her today. I thought you were going to work today. I am. But not before I take care of my daughter. He made her a cup of broth. Dad, this is chicken broth. I don't need this. I'm a vegetarian. Just drink it, okay? You'll feel better. And she did. She sipped it slowly. It tasted nasty to her, but she sipped it, and she did start to feel a little bit better. So much so that the next day she could go to school. Now, like I said, they like to pick with her at school, especially about her hair. Her locks were very long. They hung all the way down to the point where she could sit on them if she had really wanted to. Sometimes she would wear them tied up with a scarf around, just to keep them up. She did that day and came in, and a couple of girls, especially one girl named Farina was forever messing with her. Hey, Nappy, she would say to her. But Seeger never even answered her. Half the time she didn't even look her way. She just went to eat her lunch. She stayed to herself mostly. And then she felt a tug in the back of her hair. Farina had the end of her locks and were holding them like this. And in the other hand, she had a lighter. Light her up! Light her up! Some of her friends started chanting. Why are you doing that? Other children yelled. Shut up! What's wrong? You scared, baby? Let go of my hair. Seer, for some reason, didn't feel scared about being set afire. She didn't know what it was, but she felt no fear at all. She went to pull her hair from out of Farina's hands, and Farina's friends got on either side of her and held her. Light her up, said another girl named Drumma. Drumma was a big girl. And Farina just laughed. I should have you sit on her. That'll work. But nah, we're going to see how fast her locks go up in flames. She flicked the lighter. and put it to her hair. But you know, the strangest thing happened. Her hair did not set afire. Instead, the flame just seemed to jump, and it went backwards and jumped on Farina. And instead of those locks that were in her hand being afire, her shirt was afire. Ah! Ah! She screamed, ripping her shirt off. All of that commotion sent the NTAs and the principal running out of the building. Somebody put the fire out, and she was laying there with her chest halfway out, shirt torn. And you could see the burns. "What did you do? What did you do?" Farina said. "She didn't do nothing," Drama said. "We had her." Now, it was strange to see her that had happened. Her hair hadn't caught a fire. She wasn't quite sure why. Now, at first, the vice principal, Miss Taylor, who did not like Seer. She didn't like Seer basically because she thought Seer thought she was better than everyone else. Because Seer would just say, "Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." And that was all she would say. And also because she was a straight A student. But she didn't show any comprehension of anything that she said during class. But she would always pass the test. She hadn't caught her cheating, but she was sure that's what was happening. "What did you do to this girl?" "I didn't do anything to her. Her and her friends tried to set my hair on fire, and they wound up setting themselves on fire." "Is that what happened?" Then there was a voice from the vice principal's door. Miss Taylor?" And in walked another girl named Stroma. Now, Stroma wasn't part of the mean girls, but Stroma wasn't exactly the biggest fan of Sears either. But Stroma thought that all that was going on was not cool. She said she didn't do nothing to them. They set themselves on fire. They were trying to set her hair on fire, just like they did a couple of kids the other day. Is that true? Drama and them looked the other way. "I'm the one that got burnt," said Farina, with a big bandage that was across her chest. That's what happened. They went back and forth, but finally Miss Taylor had no choice but to let Seer go. The rest of the girls were detained. That evening when she got home, her father called her in and said, "I heard what happened at school today. Girl, you're going to have to learn how to get along with these girls around here." "Why? Why do I have to get along with them? Why can't I go down south? Why can't I go back with Grandma? I was doing good in school and everything. Then you brought me up here. And why?" "Because you're my child." "Oh, I'm one of your possessions and you can't let me get out of your sight?" "Who are you talking to like that, girl?" "No one, apparently. Absolutely no one." He went to grab his daughter and then jumped back. It was as though an electric shock had gone off. She stared at him, and his eyes grew big and wide. "Don't look at me like that." "Like what?" she said. She felt a fury grow inside of her. Her hands started to burn again, and her eyes started to itch, and her stomach hurt. And she looked at her father, but then she looked down at her hands, and her hands started to glow a strange color green. What? What's happening to me? Oh, Lord, he said. Beta, do me a favor. Make a cup of broth, okay? I don't want any broth. Tell me what is wrong with me, Dad. She began to calm down, and as she calmed down, the green tinge went away. Her stomach started to feel better, and her eyes started to stop itching. Just tell me what's wrong with me, Dad. Her father looked in her eyes. Sit down, he said. Just please. Sit down. You want this broth? Beta said, no. Just close the door and give us a little bit. I need to tell my daughter something. Fine. The kids and I are going to go out to the playground anyway. Drama. Nothing but drama with this girl. Ooh. Beta went out the door with the little ones. And her father looked at her and said, it's about your mom and her people. Right before your mom and I got married, she told me a story about her family. That her family were from this strange tribe of people that when they came of age, and of age for them was 14, they began to change. And they could do these miraculous things. I didn't believe her at first, but one day she showed me. She took deep breaths and her whole body started to change. Her eyes started turning colors. Her hands turned that green like your hand. And she put her hand back. And when she put them out forward, rays shot from them. And it was amazing. The trees all around her started growing. And they would do whatever she told them to do. It was some superhero stuff. And she told me that she had to let me know before we got married so that in case it ever happened in front of me that I wouldn't be afraid. But she said that she understood if I didn't want to marry her. But I loved your mother. I loved her more than anything in the world. She was always going around helping people. My mother was a superhero? Yeah, something like that, I guess. I thought I could handle it, you know? I thought, especially when she had you and your brother, that she'd be content with just our little family. But she wasn't content. She said that she had to go back to the mother island for a while, but that she would be back. And that your grandmother would help to raise you guys. I was just angry, and I left, and I came back here, and I started another life. I got a legal divorce and everything. There's no proof that she was dead, but I figured when she went back to the island and didn't come back, she had to be dead. But I never thought that you all, you mean Rise has powers too? Yeah. He has powers too. His are stronger than yours. I'm going to have to send you back to the island. Because soon, if anyone tries to hurt you, the ancestors will come for them. The ancestors? Your grandmother will explain it to you. She'll tell you all about it. Her father had his head down. Just know this. I love you too. I love you too. That's why I brought you back here. I wanted you to have a normal life. Being a hero, you'll never have a normal life. Never. He had his head down and he walked out of the room. It was so much for her to take in. She wrote her brother right away, and in a couple of days she got a letter back from him saying, he finally told you, huh? Good. It's time for you to come down here. Your 14th birthday is coming. I'll come for you. I'll ask him to put you on the train. This is crazy, she thought to herself. But she packed up her things. There wasn't much that she wanted to take with her. She knew she had clothes there that she could wear. She took a few things. She took her journals, all her drawing journals, and her writing journals, her pictures of her mother that she had tucked away. Pictures of her 2 little brothers and sister, too. She loved them. She even took pictures of her dad, and a bear. She was ready to go see what the world had offered for her, ready to find out what it was like to be a superhero. Now that story is to be continued. All this week you'll find out a little bit more about Seer and a little bit more about what it's like to be a superhero. Did you like this story? It was a special one for this Saturday. Again, I had to wear my favorite paparazzi piece. Da-da-da-da. And you know that our Tea and Stories is sponsored by my paparazzi page. Mama Carla's Paparazzi Accessories. If you look after on my page, you'll see that I'll be showing you some beautiful pieces that I have myself, or you can go on my website. I thank you so much for joining in, and thank you so much for all your support. It has really helped me. Please, if you can, look at what I have. And if you want anything, please let me know, and we can make arrangements for me to get it to you. Everything is $5. Everything is lead and nickel free. Thank you. Love you all. Mwah. And I'll see you on Monday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Bye-bye, everyone. Oh, and if you missed the story, you can watch it on the replay. It'll start again shortly. Thank you. Bye.